on our way to record a podcast with our man Papiano. So stick here and check what we're going to be talking about. Very exciting topics. Yo, what's happening, guys? So I'm here with the infamous
Papiano, Papi.
And we're here just to have a nice casual conversation. We rode here and we had quite a nice ride. And this man is actually quite fast, which is a bit amazing. But I remember, you still remember Lesedi?
Oh, yes. Yo, guys. So, Lisette was basically one of my boys. He passed away 3 months ago. Yo, man, it was a tragic accident, bro. Eh? I remember what was interesting with that whole, how it happened was, guys, by the way, I talk a lot. So if you feel like I'm telling a story for too long, just stop me or tell Sugar Lips to stop me here, So, man, what happened there, like, he had the accident. I was supposed to ride with him the night before. That whole week we've been planning and saying, let's just do a ride like at night, maybe Wednesday. I think he passed away on the Thursday and we were supposed to ride on the Wednesday. So Wednesday night, I tried to hit him up, couldn't get hold of him. He tried to hit me up, then he just said, let's not ride. Following night, I wanted to ride again, and I was like, let me just take it easy, go sleep. I wake up Friday morning, man. My phone was blowing up, like literally WhatsApps, calls, and I normally sleep, guys, when I go sleep, man. I'm on airplane mode. Airplane mode or do not disturb. I want a peaceful sleep. I don't want people calling me, hey, Noli guy, So literally, sleeping, I wake up, so many missed calls from a lot of bikers, etc. And then I thought, you won't believe what I thought. I thought Seps was on me. I thought maybe they posted me on Twitter and say, this guy, we're looking for him. Like, there's a warrant of arrest. That's what I thought, to be honest, Then I was like, shit, I wonder what's happening. Then I go to the bike groups and I see the guy passed away. I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, it can't be. I try to call him. Doesn't go through. I send WhatsApps, one tick. I went on Instagram. I see he posted a post day before the afternoon. And he tagged me in it. So we were riding together. So he tagged me in the post. And the sad thing, man, his caption was something like, set the world on fire or something like that. And that's weird because that's how he passed away a few hours later, So, hey, man, it just hit home and may his soul rest in peace. But hey, it was a hard tragedy, man. It was something that was hard to.
I could imagine. It's a hard one. I mean, we all know some people that have passed away, especially on bonies, and it's not the best thing. But I guess it's an element of the kind of sport that we're in. But anyway, for the crowd, tell us who Papiano is and tell us why I have you here today.
Okay, sure, guys. So Papiano, basically, if you don't know what that means, it's a city in Italy. So I'm half Italian. No, I'm not. To be honest, I'm Zulu, guys. Kimuzulu wako kasi. I'm a Zulu guy from South Africa for all our international viewers. Born and bred in Joburg. The Papiano name, man, came through. We were just in the studio with the guys, having a few drinks. The guys were recording music.
Now, I'm going to talk about another topic that's a bit iffy, touchy. We all know, well, majority of us know that ride bikes that, the cherries love bikes or love bikers, if I can say that. There's quite a lot of female attention I've noticed. So I just want to ask, have you noticed that female attention? And how do you handle it?
Okay, guys, I'm going to keep this one very PG. This is PG, right? So to all the gentlemen out there, if you get a motorcycle, let's say the first 3 to 6 months when you're getting used to it, you will not see the other gender. They may not throw themselves at you. But once you start ignoring that and you're just posting your bike videos, there is attention that you get, And I think there's an element of, we should actually have a biker girl or a biker lady and ask her this if she gets attention from males. I think they do. Yeah. So from my perspective, to be honest, it took a while. The first 6 months to a year of riding, it was only dudes that would be like, yo, bro, cool bike. Yeah, Sometimes guys would wait for you by your bike and then say, hey, bro, I just wanted to say nice bike, 2 weeks ago, I was in Four Ways. I was just running errands. I also run errands on my bike. Just have a backpack. I even sometimes do groceries on my bike and just chuck it in my backpack. And then when I came out, this lady who works in the store close by came to me and said, "Hey, there were two guys here who kept saying this bike is moeilijk, you know." And obviously then I was like, oh, okay, it sounds like it was nice Afrikaans guys who were just there and they were just saying, dude, your bike is nice. And they waited for me for 20 minutes.
Really?
And then as soon as they left, that's when I came out and the lady decided to tell me. So you get love from both sides, but to answer your question, yes, over time, ladies do like you a lot more because there's a sense of danger. Like, oh, bad boy, man. You know, you're that guy who can just swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. You know,
Quick.
yeah. So they do like it, and then they also sometimes want to ride with you. And I've seen you've had a lot of pillions as well, right?
I've had a few pillions in my time. You know, I'm a Jehovah's Witness right now. I only give a word of the Lord, guys. Please, that life is done now. But but when having to pillion, it's really difficult to pillion, and I generally don't really like pillioning anymore because of the simple fact of some chicks have like weird expectations, you know, at the end, and yeah, sometimes you feel that I don't want to rock, but they want to rock, and then now they call me weird. How am I weird if I'm rejecting you? You understand? But anyway. But anyway, so with my side, with the female attention, I mean, yeah, I mean, even now on social media, it's a bit more higher, you know. But I'm like, I give them attention. I don't give them attention, but it's I just give them the same attention I give everybody else. Let me just rather say that. So yeah.
Guys, can I ask him a question that I've always wanted to ask you, right? And before I ask, I'm gonna say, oh, hi, by the way. Why do they call you Sugar Lips? Because we were talking about female attention, and he said he did get a lot in his time, but now he's, you know, he's a Christian, he's a Jehovah's Witness, so gone are those days. But why do they call you Sugar Lips? It feels like it comes from somewhere, and I think it's about time we hear the truth.
On the next episode, I'll tell you guys. Oh no, well, hey, yeah. On the next episode, I'll tell you guys. It's not a problem.
My advice with regards to new riders, right, is you know yourself, Sugar Lips knows himself, I know myself, and you know your limits. So when I bought my first bike, I knew that, and I think because I was a bit older, I knew that I'll have limits where I'll take my time to learn it. And that's what you need to do if you're a new rider. Take your time. My first time on the highway on an RS6, I was going at 60 kilometers per hour. For those of you who are in the States, I think that's like what, 24 miles, 25 miles. So it was literally, guys, I was taking super easy. I probably went on the highway 10 times that day, and the last ride on the highway was probably at 110, you know. So I just increased it by 10 that's how I got used to the bike, you know. So that's my first tip. Know your limits and stick within your limits. Don't go on group rides when you are still learning. You know, take your time to learn your bike on your own. Know what you can and cannot do. Because in a group ride, it's easy to be peer pressured. It's easy for you to ride outside of your limits, and it's easy for you to make a mistake. And I think the last advice I would give to new riders is there's a lot of content out there that you can watch. What I did after I learned how to ride a bike on a 125cc bike for 2 weekends, I learned after 2 weekends, I was like, I'm ready for R6. I would then say, watch a lot of content online, because for me, that's what got me comfortable you go through stuff on the road, you get home, you jump on YouTube, you watch whichever content creator you like, your Sugar Lips, etc. You watch them. And I mean, for example, Sugar Lips does a lot of educational content. So he'll tell you these are the signs that bikers do. So you start understanding it and you see it, you know. Even small stuff like bikers greeting each other, the head nod, the peace sign. I've seen you do videos of that. And that just helps you understand the road signals for bikers. But also you end up learning stuff like how to lean, how to etc. You know. So also content is out there, and make sure you consume it and enjoy it as well.
Okay. So I'm not part of a club for good reasons. I honestly don't believe that a club caters to what I want and what I'm doing. And to a point, I don't want to be told by somebody else on who I can ride with, who I can't ride with, and what I can do and what I cannot do on my bony. So that's one of my few reasons. Do you ride out for a club? And if you don't, why don't you ride for a club?
Guys, the only club I ride with is WhatsApp groups. I don't know if that qualifies as a club. I don't know if that's istembu. What do you call istembu in English? Polygamy.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that because I'm in the multiple bike WhatsApp groups. But to be honest, I'm also not part of a club, and it's for the same reasons. Do they know your real name? They don't know your. Okay, I'm assuming you don't. I'll stick to Sugar Lips because I nearly said your real name.
Yeah, that's
But for me, I personally am not part of a club. I've never been part of a club. And I think I want to ask Sugar Lips if he's been part of a club and what his experience. You know, obviously, maybe don't reveal the club. We don't want you beefing with clubs now. But for me personally, it's one of those where I just saw the politics from outside. I rode with guys before who were all part of the same club, and me just being myself, wanting to overtake guys. And obviously, I've checked that all the guys are in a single line, and I wasn't disrupting guys. I wasn't riding in between bikers like this. All I just wanted to do was overtake and go in front or go just before the guy in front. As soon as we reached our destination, I got reprimanded. They told me, hey, Baba, you need to stay at the back. The formation is like, there were too many rules. And I was like, no, guys, I can't be doing such. So for me, I was like, clubs are a no-no. But I'm glad that there's a lot of WhatsApp groups and people ride together. So if I want to ride with people, just check one of the groups. If people are doing a weekend ride or a breakfast run, there's all these different runs people do. I'll then join in. So maybe from your side, why have you been part of a club? And if you left, what were the reasons why? And keep it PG, please. We don't. We know there's a lot of younger people that like your content. Keep it PG, bro.
Okay. So I used to ride for a club. Let me not reveal the name, but I used to ride for a club. The reason why I left, I genuinely felt as if I I didn't have genuine friends in the club. I just joined the club to join the club. I joined the club because there was a mate of mine who passed away as well. That actually started that club. Then I joined because of him. Then when he passed away, I ended up noticing. But I was like dudes here. There was only like 3 or 4 people that I got along with really well. But the president and the vice president, all those other higher guys, I did not understand them. I didn't understand where they're taking the club. I didn't understand the vision of the club. And I was like, you know what? Let me rather just leave. I actually didn't leave officially. I just took off my colors and I just stopped going to the meetups and all that. And was I part of the club because I was influenced by my friend? Yes. I didn't join the club because I genuinely liked that very club. I didn't. I joined because it was him. As soon as he passed away and he was out of the club anymore, then I just saw him just faded away as well. Some people join clubs because they want that brotherhood, that affiliation. That's what I've noticed. Some of the guys join clubs because of they don't have other people to ride with. So I could understand to a point I could be a solo rider. To a point you could be a solo rider. You understand? I honestly don't feel as if it's a problem. But some people, like for some people, it's really boring for them. I ride my bike sometimes when I'm alone to go do my errands and wadi. Some guys generally don't have that luxury because maybe they work for, they stay for, so they only can ride the bike on weekends. So the best thing for them to do is ride with a mate. So maybe that's why they join clubs. So, and as well, the other thing is the politics in clubs. You understand? The politics is a hard one, and I'm as I said, I'm not one to. I don't take orders very lightly. Understand? I do, but yeah, it must be rational. I can't understand. I don't understand people that can't think, that are kind of doof to a point. I don't want to call some people dumb, but some people are kind of dumb. You understand? But so that's my main issue. So that's why I'm not part of a club right now.
So I know it's his podcast and he should be asking questions, but we also want to know a bit more about him. So Sugar Labs, with joining a club, for people out there who have bikes, whether you have a 50cc, 125cc, or 1000cc, whichever bike you have, what are the requirements of joining a club? Is there such thing as this club only wants people on big bikes or sports bikes or cruisers, or are there specific requirements? And then, and I'm also asking for me because I've never been part of a club. And then also, are there stuff like monthly contributions? Do you have to pay money every month to be part of that club? And then do you also have to get a leather vest that's made with specific colors? What do those colors mean, etc.? Just give us like a high level how that works.
Okay. So it's majority than anything with the colors. It's more for affiliation. So people riding with you, they should kind of know where you're from and who the kind like the kind of person that you are. Number one. Number two. Yes, some clubs they could say that nothing lower than a 400cc, for example. Some clubs could say nothing lower than a 600. So I think it just pertains to whichever club that you're joining. And what's the other question? Sorry.
Contribution.
So with the contributions is some clubs do have a monthly fee, some clubs don't. I honestly do believe in clubs that have a monthly fee because of some clubs, what they do when you guys go out on group rides, they pour petrol for you, they buy you guys food, they pay for your guys' entrance. So it's almost like admin fee. And people that are kind of doing the admin for the club, they probably just need to get a little bit of remunerations every single month. You understand? So that's plus minus what some other clubs do. Some other clubs are very strict. Some other clubs are very easy. Some other clubs are like in the mid range. I could say the 1%ers in South Africa are one of the most hardcore biker clubs. Other than that, others are like, nah. But majority of clubs, I honestly believe they're more subtle and cool, especially in South Africa. In the States, obviously, it's completely different. There, it's more affiliation with like blood and blood brothers, and the affiliation there is way different compared to us. Yeah. So, would I ever join a club if I was to find a real good club? I probably would. If I have genuine friends in the club, and if there's a cause to the club, and if we're actively doing something. For example, on the 27th of July, we've got there's a Sampayopa winter party, and I know at that winter party, the contributions from that party is going to go to victims that have been abused, violent like violence and what. You understand? So clubs that do such things, I'd be more than happy to join. But if it's clubs where majority of them they fight and they're always drinking and like there's no like it's like they're living for now. There's no future planning. I wouldn't join a club like that. But yeah. So here's another thing. Yeah? Which which safety tips did you have to adhere to when having to ride like rolling on a bike? And if somebody else was to ask some safety tips from you, which safety tips would you give?
Okay. Safety tips that I had to adhere to. Guys, I think the first important one is actually wearing gear. I think we take that for granted. And I know a lot of guys, and I was actually guilty of it as well. And I know a lot of guys where they started riding full gear, and then over time you get comfortable, gear without the jacket, then gear without the boots, then without the jeans, etc. At least most guys always wear a helmet, which is good, But I feel like I know a few brothers who've had accidents where once they fall down and they didn't have gear, now they were stuck in a hospital for months, etc. And having seen that with my eyes, and because I'm also an aggressive rider, I then said to myself, you know what, I'm just always gonna wake here. Have I done it as well? I mean, guys, we're all human. We're all human. I have been on a bike a few times with just a t-shirt on the highway. It's a very nice feeling, I won't lie. You do feel a lot of the stones from the car hitting you, which is not nice. Hey, but I know guys that go with vests. There's this guy, I don't know if I can mention his name. Okay, but he rides. He has an S1000. He rides just wearing a vest. He goes to gym. Guns are out. Triceps, biceps, sets. Everything. They're just all showing. But yeah, for me, guys, I think safety tip number one that I got was always wear gear. It's not the most comfortable sometimes, but it also gives you the confidence when you're riding and when you're approaching a curve and you want to lean more. You're more comfortable that worst case if something happens, at least I'm gonna have a scratch or two, but I'll be fine, And then I think the safety tip that I would give everyone else, which I touched on a bit, the first one is obviously knowing your limits and riding within your limits. Number two is respecting your bike. If you respect your bike will respect you. Guys, number three, which I really effed up, because we're keeping it PG, so I'm not gonna say the full word. I effed up on my R6, my first bike, by not doing maintenance. And guys, maintenance, I think that's why the engine also basically blew up on me, because I didn't do maintenance. Guys, maintenance is something as small as lubing your chain.
Yeah.
Clean your chain and lube your chain.
Yeah.
Guys, every 500 odd Ks do that, or every 1,000 Ks. I mean, I just do it. I try to do it every 2 weeks where I'm like, let me remind myself, take your bike, clean the chain, lube the chain, etc. Check for small stuff like walk around your bike. Is there oil? I do that now regularly, and my S1000 had an issue. I brought it into BMW Motorrad, checked it out, changed everything. Bike is good as new. So maintenance is quite important. And if you don't know how to do it, guys, there's so many videos online. People show you how to. And I've seen you posted a video as well, just to say how do you check your bike to
Yes.
make sure it's in good condition.
Yes.
Check your headlights. I mean, when we were riding here, you were riding on brights.
Yes.
Yeah, your lights are on brights, and I don't know if you do that every time,
All the
but that's a good safety measure as well, so that you're visible, so that
Yes.
people can see you and they can also hear you. So yeah.
So I've got one more question for you. If a person wants to approach you and wanting to ride with you, what are the things that you look out for or you would look for when a new person is trying to wants to ride with you?
Okay, that's actually a interesting and good question because I do get approached by a lot of people who want to ride. And I think for me, at first, I'd be down to ride with anyone and everyone. But now I look for stuff like if they have a social media page, I sometimes want to go watch and see what they post, which it's weird. Most bikers don't post a lot of their rides.
Yeah.
They just post like pictures and videos of their bike. As long as you're posting your bike, I'm happy, because let the world see your bike. And I always say, if you love your bike, you'll post your bike. People that don't post their bikes, I don't know. But what I normally look for is just someone who'll be, a chilled guy who can ride wherever, and someone where I feel like they're going to respect riding with someone. Because riding with someone now, I'm not only focusing on my limits, now I focus on their limits as well and their riding style.
Yeah.
So there's some people it's easy to ride with. I think when we rode here, it was quite easy to ride together. I
Yeah.
could tell how you were riding. I was like, okay, cool, I can adjust. But that's what I look for in people. And as long as it's good intentions, as long as it's let's just have a ride, go somewhere, have a chill time, I'm always okay with that. And lastly, I always look for experience because I sometimes want to know the person's experience. Because if they are a new rider, I know how to then. I've been on the road with new riders before, and then I know how to handle certain situations. I know that maybe when there's traffic, let me lead if we lane splitting so that the cars open up and it's easier for them behind me. If it's a more experienced rider, I'm happy for them to lead or will change on the way as we're riding. But also then when it's a new rider, sometimes I like them riding in front. Because then they can determine what speed I ride at.
True.
Because if I'm in front,
Yeah.
at first I'll ride and maybe I'll ride too slow for them. They'll be like, oh, this is not the same Papiana I see on social media. Why is he so slow now?
Yeah.
So when they ride in front for like a good 5-10 minutes, I then pick up their riding style. And then I'm like, okay, cool. Then I know I can do something a bit crazy or I can hold off, etc.
Yeah.
So that's what I look at for when I ride with new riders. Yeah. And what about yourself?
Well, especially now when having to make content and link up with the other people, I would have to look at the style, how fast they ride, if they make any dangerous maneuvers. Because there was a time I was riding with one guy and we were at the robot, for example, and there was a truck in front of us, horse and trailer truck. And that truck wanted to turn right and we were also turning right. But then the dude, because you know how a truck goes, it was going to go out and then come in and use two lanes. But the dude went and stood in front of the truck on the left hand side. So as soon as the truck went out and come in like that, he was already at the bumper, and the truck driver didn't see that guy and went over his bike. So I mean stuff like that, and I look at stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, maybe this person doesn't understand the risk in doing a certain action. Before doing anything on a pony, you must first think, if I do this, will this make me safe, or will this make me safer, or will I be able to get out of a sticky situation? You understand? That's how you get to know your bike. Whatever you can do on your bike can do this and be able to do that. I honestly believe that some guys don't know the capabilities of their bikes. So even if they get into a sticky situation, they don't know how to get out of the sticky situation. You understand? So more than anything, how a person rides their bike and how they handle certain situations. If it's a very reckless rider, I would not. Reckless being, I'm not saying high like racing, we can race, whatever. Yeah, there's a bit of recklessness in that. But reckless being you're passing a car just before it turns left, for example, on the left hand side. You understand? That doesn't make sense. You're coming so hard to a stop sign. Why you know you're gonna stop. Why you come so quick? You want to wheelie in a place that's really cramped up and there's a lot of kids, there's people moving around, anything could it's dumb. You understand? You come to a stop, you're always revving your bike and you're showing off and you're showboating. I mean it's yours, it's fine. But if you're gonna do that, please don't ride with me. Anyway. So I'm gonna ask you another question that I get asked a whole lot. What's the fastest you've been on your bike?
The speed limit, guys. I've never been higher than the speed limit. And if you guys know what the biker speed limit is, that's the limit, you know. But to be honest, man, the fastest speed that I've been on, based on what? Because there's a speed you can see based on your speedometer.
Yeah.
There's a speed if you have a certain camera, whichever one, the 360 or the GoPro, etc. There's a speed that it also records where it can go over the limit. So whatever the limit is for an R1 on an S1000, I would say probably add another 12, 13 kilometers. That's the fastest I've been.
Okay.
And do I still go at those speeds? To be honest, once in a while, I'll have a day where I'm like, I just feel like it. But once you've hit the bike limit,
Yes.
once you get to the 299 gang, for those who know what I'm talking about, um, that's where you start doing it less. You'll still do it here and there, but now it's probably like once every 2, 3 months. I'll just have actually feel like clocking it, you know.
Yeah.
But on most days, I mean, I'm just normally around the cruising speed. So yeah. Well, what's the fastest you've been on the bike?
I'm gonna be politically correct as well. The speed limit. Yeah, it's a bit hard for me to disclose my speed because of everybody knows me, so I don't want the cops not to come after me or some shit like that. But they probably would. But I've hit like quite a high speed. Yeah, and for considerable amounts of time. It's not as fun as everybody thinks because you get into a bit of a tunnel vision, and then you basically don't see anything. All you see is what's like just in front of you here, and all you can hear is your motor. Especially once you crap, like once you're in and the visor's just over you, all that's all you can hear. That's all you can see. So is it safe? Completely not. It's not safe. Is it exciting? Fuck yeah. Would I do it again? Oh, you best believe I would.
Can I ask you something? So I think what I would like to know, and maybe what you guys and ladies would like to know, is what's your first memory of getting on a bike, and what actually got you into this sport that you've been doing for a long time. So you know what you're doing, you have the experience. So for the people who are watching, are like, oh boy, when I grow up, I want to be like Sugar Lips. Like, what's your recollection of first bike moment, as well as how did you get into it?
I could honestly say the first time I got in, the first memory I have of a bony, I think I was in primary school. I think grade six, grade five, grade six. There was my brothers. So my brothers are bikers as well. They don't ride as much as they used to, but so my brother had a friend, and then the friend came over with the bony the one day, and I saw it, and just infatuation. I couldn't understand. I didn't know what this thing was anyway. Then as the years progressed on, I ended up getting friends that had bikes. So I used to have I don't want to say white, but let me say Caucasian. I had a Caucasian friend. I used to go over to his house. He stayed on the farm. They had quad bikes. They had all these things, and we used to ride. So ever since from then, I loved it. High school was the same thing. Left school till this day is still the same thing. So, and then why I love them. Hey, it's no, it's like a blue pill. But imagine taking 20 of them at the same time. With a cuck ton of caffeine as well. You understand? That's the excitement that you get from a bony. And if anybody doesn't know that feeling or wants to experience that feeling, let me know. We can make it happen. I mean, even now we're at BMW Motorrad East Rand. We're recording this video there. Thank you to them. So you need any of those, come. We make it happen. But best believe me. And let me ask you a question by asking myself, and then you answer it. would you ever leave bikes and venture into another sport? If it was me, probably not. Honestly, I probably wouldn't leave this sport, and yeah, I don't even think there's anything else I'd do, because this is basically what I do every single effing day. You understand? So yeah, and you?
So to answer the first question, I think my first recollection of bikes, which is weird, I was a lot younger. I was driving my brother's Toyota Tez. I was going somewhere and I was not lane splitting, but I was driving on a lane I wasn't supposed to be driving on because I was late. I was going somewhere, so clearly I already had the instinct way back. And then when I did that, there was a biker that was trying to pass, and I blocked his route, so I nearly knocked him over by mistake. The guy got angry, came next to me on the right. Well, if you're in the States, I know you guys sit on the left, but came to my window basically, threw a punch. Luckily, he only hit the window, so he didn't hit the mirror. He could have literally broke a mirror. And instead of me getting angry, I was like, wow, that was so cool. I need to get into this, you know? And then one of my friends just started doing his learners. And when he told me, he reminded me, he was like, you remember when you were young, you always said you wanted a motorbike? I honestly didn't remember. And because that motivated him to do his learners, I then got motivated to join the sport. I'm not saying I did or didn't do it, the learners, but I'm just fast forwarding to joining the sport.
We've all had accidents, nah? We've all crashed. So my biggest crash is when I kind of messed up my leg and my ankle actually, and I think my knee and my back. I think that's the worst crash I've ever had. And that time I was wheeling. I was actually wheeling my friend's bike that passed away, and we fucked it up completely. But I was on crutches for some time. I was on crutches for some time. Had to wait for the leg to be repaired, and then luckily we fixed his bike. Then his bike was shop. Then after I think 2 months, then I got back on bike again. Yeah, and started riding. Ever since that, from that day, I've never had another crash since from then. And I'm not planning to as well. Anyway, I was not. I had jeans, t-shirt, and tackies on. Everything got ripped. And you understand, and I was at that time I was a bit more flamboyant. I was a bit more luxury. Like I liked nicer things back then. So I had really like designer t-shirt, designer jeans, designer sneakers. When I got to the hospital, scissor, all that stuff, and I was like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna do this no more. I'd rather use all that money and just buy proper gear, and then you understand. So yeah, and you?
Yeah, guys, you see, that's why I asked him, was he wearing gear? Because as soon as he said, broke my bones, my foot, my chest, my hip, I was like, no, man, if he had gear on, if he just had a jacket on, he would have been fine, top half, you know? So, which is important, guys, wear your gear. The biggest accident, I'll tell you two funny stories. The first one's not an accident, but when I got the R6, I went to the store, picked it up. So this is after being on a 125cc twice for 30 minutes each. So I only had 1 hour riding experience. When I picked up the R6, I sat on it at the dealership and I literally fell. And this was after purchasing it, etc. I didn't even test ride it. I just went and said, yeah, yeah. So no, but they were fine because they're like, he's already taking the bike. So it's not like I was test riding and then I fell. So guys, that was the worst moment. And the person I was with at the time, I'm happy she didn't come with me because I was like, no, come, I'm gonna pick up my bike, come take videos. I'm glad no one was recording me because I'm sure that video would be circulating right now, like everywhere, you know. So in terms of a big accident that I've had, I was in a testing facility in Pretoria. Literally, that testing facility can clock your bike out. It's like we went on a curves test, and then after that, there's a straight, and then you go around. There's a straight. There's also like an oval. Yeah, on the curves, guys, my mistake I made there was I was looking in the corner. My eyes switched for 2 seconds like that, and I went off. And when I went off, literally, I was on the cross. and there was a tree. As you went off, there was a tree in the middle of nowhere. I literally now started looking at the tree, and then I went straight to the tree. I hit the brakes, it locked, and then I fell over. That was the worst. And I rode there. So luckily the bike was still in a riding condition. I rode it back home. Until today, I was thankful that I wore full gear. So I posted the video and then they took it down. Maybe I'll try. I still have it somewhere in my archives. The only injury I had was 2 scratches on my neck. That's all. Other than that, I wasn't limping. As soon as I got up, because my GoPro was on, I started using the F word, the S word. That's how angry I was. But when I watch the video now, I'm always like, it's actually good that I had gear on, because if I didn't, I think it could have ended a bit badly. Yeah.
Okay, the last question. And how do you handle road rage? So you're riding, somebody cuts you off. You're riding, you cut somebody off. They're trying to, like, I'm talking when you're riding your pony, obviously. How do you handle it? How do you process it? I know some guys, just like you said in your story, that some guys will chuck your mirror off. Some guys will hit your window. Some guys will actually stop and try to fight you. How do you handle it? And has that ever happened to you?
Okay, I'm gonna be a bit sexist, but in a good way. But it's still being sexist. So for me, it depends. Um, if it's road rage where I caused it, ah, if you seem like a decent person, I'll just apologize. But sometimes you have road rage where someone's hooting at you and you're like, I did nothing. Then I'll just just throw my hand, or show my middle finger. And I've had one instance where I did that. The guy was on a big buggy. These buggy guys like fighting us, eh? He made it his mission to catch up to me, and I think he was gonna try and run over me. So, cause I was on a faster bike, I kept tempting him. I threw a middle finger. I was like, "Come!" And then there was traffic. I went in between traffic. Then I stood in front, and I just stood on my bike, saw him, and I just threw one middle finger for the last time. Then I left. So that was more recent. But normally, what I do, I try my best. And guys, it's very tempting to just say, I'm just gonna literally take a mirror. I try my best to not get there. The worst is I'll just give you a middle finger and just give you more rage as well and leave you with that rage. Um, but yeah, that's what I try to. But where I'm saying I'm sexist is if I see it's a lady and she was on the phone and I just melt a bit. I'm like, I don't want to be throwing middle fingers at them. I then take it easy and I'll just shake my head and just ride off. Yeah. But when it's a guy, I'm normally like, hey man, let's just let it out. Yeah. But there is one guy that nearly, I don't know if it was intentional. He tried to like literally get me off the road. I got so angry, man. I rode close to him and I nearly did something stupid. And I held myself last minute. And I was like, what? Let me just let it go. Yeah. Because you've seen videos of people trying to do something and the car just tips them over. That's what I'm trying to, avoid at the end of the day.
So basically, a person driving a car will use their car as a weapon. So they will run you over, guys. Don't stop in front of a car and try to do something, because that person will ride over your bike and probably you as well. And believe me, it ain't going to end well. Best believe that. Okay, so we're about to close. In closing, do you have anything you want to say, anything you want to ask? But I'm good. Thank you to Papiano for making it today. So anything in closing?
In closing, guys, I want to say hi, by the way. I don't know, I don't lie, man. The thing is so catchy. Like, it's so catchy. Whenever I see it, sometimes they'll just be flicking on social media or just let it play and then you just hear, oh, hi. Like, now what is he talking about? Like, it's so catchy. But these days, I see he's changing. He's explaining what RR means, which he'll talk about it. But anyway, parting advice from my side, guys. The one thing I want to leave you with is biking is a totally different beast. It's not as difficult as it looks. It's not as scary as it looks. When you see a biker passing and it looks like he's going super quick, trust me, he's probably relaxed. He's probably using it to clear his head or just running errands. Biking is, for me, it's a sport where you enjoy it, you get an adrenaline rush. I don't think there's anything else in the world where you can get an adrenaline rush every time you do it, and you can do it that frequently. Cause yeah, you can go jet ski, you can go bungee jump, you can do all those things, but you do that once probably
Yes.
a month or
I know one that actually can. When you
okay, for some of you that do. If you don't, trust me, you can get it through biking. But I think at the end of the day, parting advice for me is respect your bike, guys. Maintenance is important. Respect the road. Just make sure that whenever you jump on the bike, you don't forget that you ride as if you're invisible. You know, I know some people don't ride maybe with mirrors, etc. But it also comes with the experience. Maybe now they're used to, they always at a bit of a higher speed. They always look at their blind spots. There's reasons why they do. Yeah, the bike looks cooler without mirrors, but they also have ways of checking, their surroundings. So yeah, what I'd say is respect your bike, take care of your bike, and just make sure that whenever you're on the road, ride as if you're invisible. Be on the lookout. Anything can happen, from cars to potholes to, I mean, I nearly hit a bird once. Maybe I was going at a crazy speed, but a bird was flying across the highway and I literally ducked. Would have been nice though to have, could have made my own Kentucky fried chicken, or, but I just held myself and said, let me spare the bird. Let a brother live. Come on, man. Come on, man. So yeah, that's advice from me, guys. But also thanks, man, for having me. I've been wanting to be here, and I hope it's not the last time because he still needs to answer what Sugar Lips, where that came from. There, I still want to know. But yeah, man, thanks for having me, bro.
now in closing, and I've been saying in closing a lot. Okay, now this is real in closing. Give me or give us 3 reasons why you love your Boni so much, but in a sad voice.
Guys, why do I?
sad music?
Okay,
Make sure it's really sad.
guys,
You can cry.
why do I love my pony so much? I like it for these three reasons. Number one, it's just nice to look at. Like, I just like looking at my pony. I just like looking at my pony, guys. Number two, it's freedom. You're on the highway, you can feel the wind in your hair, on your helmet actually, because you have to wear gear. You can, yeah, you can feel the wind. You just forget about your problems. And the third reason, which actually is one of the biggest reasons why I like being on a sports bike or any bike, is being able to, someone not being able to get hold of me. I feel like it's the only time where whoever's calling, yeah, we all have cardios, we all can answer calls. But I sometimes on purpose put my phone on do not disturb or airplane mode, play music, and I'm like, for this next 30-minute ride, I want no interaction with the world. No one can get hold of me. If something's really important, if the house is burning down, I once said this to my dad and he got angry. He said to me, I can never get hold of you. You always return my calls late. What? And then he was like, what if the house is burning down and I'm calling you? Guys, this was the first and last time I was cheeky with my dad. I then said to him, oh, he said, what if the house is burning down? Then I said to him, dude, then call the firefighters. Why are you calling? What am I going to do? Am I going to come with a bucket of water? And what do you want me to do? Did I not get the beating of my life? I did. But then after that, I was like, I am never doing that again. So the third reason for me is just being able to, being in your own world, in Papiano's world, where you can gather your thoughts, you can think of stuff, also while focusing on the road, because you have to do that. So for me, those are the 3 reasons. What would your 3 reasons be?
As I said, I'm gonna say this in a very in a very sad voice. Number one has to be all the random pussy that we get. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that one out. I am committed, guys. I'm just trolling. I'm committed. But number one is it's the bike is extremely sexy. Number two, the high maintenance, and number three is because I know that not everybody can ride a bike. That's why.
That's a good one.
Because that's how it is, baby.
That's a
I know you can't ride one, and I know you can't. I know you can't buy S1K, and that's why I ride it. It's a life, baby.
This is really yeah.
Completely. All right. Now this is in closing. Genuinely, are you good? Anything else that you want to ask?
Yeah, I think guys, in closing from my side, oh yes, guys. My handle on every social media is Papiano underscore biker. So whether it's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, it's Papiano underscore biker. And yeah, content I normally do is I like racing on my own. I like racing cars. I like riding with fellow bikers as well. And once in a while, I just take pictures or videos of my pony just after a clean wash, or just advertising it. But other than that, I just post a lot of random videos. Yeah, and it's always good, man. I've always wanted to actually chat to you like this. Obviously, we've met before, but it was nice to finally like chill for like some time and not just meet in passing. Because the last time I saw him, he had 2, 3 bodyguards. He acted like he couldn't see me at all. I was like, "Yo, sugar lips," and he just looked at me and he just kept moving. And at the time, I was just, I was still in the game with my 400cc. I was like, "Look at these guys." But that's what he did with these bodyguards. But when he invited me and said, "Let's do this," and obviously I said I want to do it. That's when I was like, "Okay, I think now I'm playing with the big boys." And I was like, I can't wait to just jump on this podcast and say, "Oh, hi, by the way."
All right, there. Thanks, and we are done. Okay.